Well, we have the confirmation that Death Stranding is coming on November 8th, 2019. Unfortunately, it looks like a pair of big games will be missing the 2019 release calendar. One of them I don't think anyone was really expecting to be released in 2019 in Cyberpunk 2077. However, I was of the notion that The Last of Us Part 2 was definitely going to come out this year, but it looks like The Last of Us Part 2 will instead come out in early 2020. We'll talk all about that. Also, EA Play 2019 has been detailed while EA is missing out on a formal E3 conference. They will be showcasing a bunch of their upcoming titles in the form of EA Play 2019, a live stream. That schedule includes 3 hours of content, so it's gonna be a sizable live stream even though it's not a traditional conference. And speaking of E3, Square Enix is gonna be one of the major publishers at E3. We know that they're gonna show off the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but also, possibly even more exciting to some people, the worldwide reveal of Marvel's The Avengers will be taking place at Square Enix's live E3 2019 presentation. We'll talk all about that at the end of this video, but first up, Jason Schreier put out a tweet noting that it looks like Death Stranding is about to get announced for a November release. That was to be confirmed. Death Stranding will be dropping November 8th. However, he continued by saying The Last of Us Part 2 was also planned for fall 2019, but I actually just heard it got bumped to early 2020, possibly February. Either way, wild final year for PlayStation 4. So that's a little bit of a bummer for me. I'm not sure if that comes to a play of The Last of Us Part 2 just needing more time to be finished, or if this is a case of them just wanting to separate major game releases. I do think it would be a pretty bad idea to release The Last of Us Part 2 and Death Stranding, two monster exclusives like that right next to each other. I just didn't think that would make any sense. However, to do Death Stranding in November and then releasing The Last of Us Part 2 3 months later, I think that makes a lot more sense. And usually, the early portion of the year is a bit more quiet than the end of the year, although in recent years it seems like the beginning of the year has been just as packed as the end of the year. Nonetheless, I don't think the majority of people are going to lose a lot of sleep over The Last of Us Part 2 coming in early 2020. I do think it would have been a major issue if the PlayStation 4 did not have a single major exclusive dropping this year. Let's say Death Stranding was a 2020 title and The Last of Us Part 2 was a 2020 title, and all we had to really look forward to was like Dreams and Concrete Genie. I don't think a lot of you guys would be excited about that, but because you have Death Stranding taking that November release table, I think people are just gonna think, hey, I got Death Stranding to play. There's a lot of other exciting multi-platform games coming out from Borderlands 3. Watch Dogs 3 is probably gonna get confirmed rather soon. We've got Ghost Recon Breakpoint. There are a lot of games on the way that if The Last of Us Part 2, if it is in early 2020, I got all these other games to play. At least Death Stranding is a 2019 title. I think people will be satiated enough for the rest of the year. Alright, also, I was of the mindset and really hopeful that Cyberpunk 2077 would somehow be released in 2019. That has also been shot down. Jason Schreier also noted that Cyberpunk 2077 is absolutely not coming out this year, and if he says something in absolute like that, I'm inclined to believe him, especially in this case. It's a game that I don't think a lot of people were even expecting to be released in 2019. I was just holding out a little bit of hope, given the fact we did hear that CD Projekt Red is prepping up the releases of two major AAA RPGs, one of them being Cyberpunk 2077, and the other one is due out before the end of 2021, meaning that if Cyberpunk 2077 was released in 2020, it would be a little bit unusual if Cyberpunk 2077 released next year and then CD Projekt Red followed it up the following year with another major AAA RPG. That's not typical CDPR MO, however, it's not something that would be completely unheard of, and it would be absolutely possible, and who knows, that 2021 title might end up being delayed until like 2022 or whatever the case may be. In the sense of Cyberpunk not being a 2019 title, look, it was just something I was very, very hopeful for. I am still of the mindset that come E3, I'm just not looking for a gameplay trailer or anything like that. If Cyberpunk 2077 is gonna have a big impact, I want to see at least some sort of release plan, whether it be a release window or a full-on release date. If it's not coming out in 2019, you can still start setting the table for that early 2020 period, or just let us know that it will be out sometime in 2020, because at this point, the game has been announced since, what, 2012? It's about time we either see the release of the game or it goes to the wayside. Whatever the case may be, I'm still incredibly excited for Cyberpunk 2077. It's just that releasing any more gameplay of the title, is it gonna get me any more excited? Probably not. And at this point, I think the majority of people, if you want to get Cyberpunk 2077, you're already very much sold on the game. Alright, with all this talk about E3, one major publisher that is not going to have their traditional E3 conference is EA. However, they will be holding the EA Play 2019 live stream and it's scheduled to run for 3 hours, so there's gonna be a lot of content shown off as a part of that, and it was noted that here's the breakdown. 9:15 a.m. it's gonna be the countdown to EA Play. 9:30 a.m. they're kicking it off in a big way with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That's gonna be hosted by online personalities Greg Miller and Andrea Renee. 10 a.m. you've got Apex Legends. That's gonna be hosted by commentator Alex Goldenboy Mendez. 10:30 a.m. we got more Battlefield 5 content hosted by online personality Julia Hardy and EA's Adam Freeman. 11 a.m. you've got EA Sports' next FIFA title hosted by Alex Goldenboy Mendez. 11:30 a.m. you've got EA Sports Madden NFL. That's hosted by NFL Network's Adam Rank. And then 12 p.m. is rounding things out. That's with The Sims 4. That's going to be hosted by Andrea Renee. So all that content is coming as a part of the EA Play 2019 live stream. And as far as new announcements go, there's nothing that major there. You've got the traditional sports titles there. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order we already know is on the way, but it'll be good to see some live gameplay of that. The sports titles are what they are. Whenever they're shown off at E3 during one of those traditional conferences, that's always an EA lull, and I think it's way better to just showcase those games as a part of a live stream. The majority of people are probably going to tune out for that, and considering they're playing FIFA, Madden NFL, and The Sims 4 back to back to back, I think at that point, a lot of people might be closing out of the EA stream. However, with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, new Apex Legends content, and new BF5 content, hopefully that keeps people engaged to at least a certain extent. Alright, and lastly, Square Enix is prepping up a major showing at E3 this year. They're one of the publishers that have been really hit or miss recently, but Kingdom Hearts 3 was great. While Left Alive wasn't all too great, we did recently have the re-reveal of Final Fantasy VII Remake. That is still in the works, and it looks like it's pretty far along, and at E3, we're gonna get a ton of content about that game, and while that's taking most of the headlines, it was also confirmed over on the Avengers Twitter, quote, "Tune into Square Enix Live E3 2019 for the worldwide reveal of Marvel's The Avengers. The event begins June 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern, and it was noted worldwide reveal at Square Enix Live E3 2019. It's being done by Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal. Square Enix is publishing the game, so who knows what this game is going to turn out to be. Some people were speculating that it could be some MMO free-to-play experience. Don't think that would get people all too excited, but if it is a single-player narrative-driven experience, or not even single-player if you do want to open the floodgates to multiplayer, but it is still that narrative-driven experience, and it's a compelling experience at that. That could resonate very hard with gamers, and we know that this has been in development for quite a while, so hopefully it's relatively far along. Who knows if it will be a PlayStation 4 game? This one could very well be a PlayStation 5 title. Given Square Enix development timetables, you know, you can never rule that out. Given that they are Western studios in Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, hopefully it is a little bit of a different story, but do expect to see more of that come E3. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, The Last of Us 2 is probably not gonna be released in 2019, probably gonna be an early 2020 title, but you do have Death Stranding to be on the lookout for. Cyberpunk 2077, also not a 2019 title. I think most of us expected that, but I was holding out for a little bit of hope. Hey, if Death Stranding is coming out in 2019, I think a lot of people were expecting that to be a 2020 title, so I don't think it was a complete far cry for Cyberpunk 2077 to be a 2019 game, but at this point, looks like it's unlikely. EA Play will be a 3-hour live stream EA is holding to show off a lot of their games, and Square Enix will be showcasing the worldwide reveal of Marvel's The Avengers come Square Enix Live E3 2019, again June 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.